Can we become good people? Or is St. Paul right when he said in Romans chapter 7, the thing that I want to do, I can't do, but the thing that I don't want to do, I end up doing? I've been taught that all my life when I was a Christian, that basically we are born sinful, we are sinful by nature, and no matter how much we try, no matter how much effort we put into it, we cannot be good. What we can hope for is forgiveness for the times when we are bad. But we should still try and be good. And there's this kind of cognitive dissonance there, isn't there? There's a contradiction. I cannot be good. I should try to be good. And in Buddhism, you don't have that. You don't have that sense of it's impossible to be good. It doesn't have that idea that we are basically sinful. In Buddhism, we all have what's called a Buddha nature. I heard it described recently by a great Buddhist teacher that I went on retreat with, as being like the sun is always shining, but sometimes there are clouds in the way. And that's true of everyone. We all have this kind of sunshine to us, even if it looks cloudy to us sometimes. Now, Buddhists might say you can become good, but it might take a long time. And for some Buddhists, they would say it takes forever or several lifetimes. But every Buddhist would agree that we can become better and better by our own efforts. But maybe Paul is right if we just think of him differently. So that verse has been used within a particular lens to say, well, we can't do the right thing no matter how hard we try. But what if what it means is we can't do it if we're trying in the wrong way, the wrong kind of effort, and that skillful effort or right effort is simply what is required. And if we do that, if we try in the right way, then we'll get somewhere. Now, modern science tells us that we are not humans, rational creatures, that we humans are not rational creatures. And one of our biggest mistakes, I think, as humans is to think of ourselves, to trick ourselves into thinking we are rational. We're often fine, aren't we, with other people being emotional and irrational, but ourselves, we believe that we can make rational choices and rational decisions. But what if that's the crux of why St. Paul was kind of right? Because when we try to become good people by moral argument or by rationalizing every time we come up to a moral decision, we tend to do the wrong thing and then rationalize it afterwards as the right thing. We make emotional decisions and then we make rational judgments afterwards. This is the reason why it was okay for me to do this. This is the reason why the other person was wrong. Why in this situation it makes sense or it can be excused. We justify what we do. And that's something we all do. So what do we do then about that? If we can't change our minds to become more rational, then perhaps we need to look somewhere else. Well, in Buddhism, we look at our habits and our character. We look at the idea that we can change how we feel. And we do that using our minds, obviously. We do that through concentration and insight, through focusing our minds and through changing how we feel about different situations, through stilling our minds. And by getting into the habit and the practice of retraining our minds every day, all day if possible, but with specific times set aside to retrain our minds, to be more compassionate, to be more mindful of ourselves and our feelings. And that way we can change our feelings over time. And if our feelings drive our actions, then changing our feelings is how we change our actions to be more good, not by changing our justifications. So then how do we do that? How do we change our feelings so that even though we're not rational creatures, we can become more emotionally good creatures? Let's look at that next.